The Agent for Citizen-Driven Transformation Art program don't work with many civil society organizations for different states for many years now. The simple aim is to enable them to be credible and effective drivers of change for sustainable development for Nigeria. The work of art focuses on strengthening the system of CSOs, network and coalition to improve their internal, external and programmatic capabilities. Art still look on providing platform for multi-stakeholders dialogue to improve effective and inclusive regulatory environment for the operation of CSOs for Nigeria. Although art don dey implemented for 10 states wey dem select across the 6 geopolitical zones wey be Adamawa, Borno, Edo, Enugu, FCT, Kano, Lagos, Plateau, Rivers and Sokoto states. The 5 years program for Edo wey start since 2019 don end for 2024. Although this program dey funded by the European Union and dey implemented by the British Council. The Agent for Citizen-Driven Transformation Art don support many civil society to promote different areas like the gender mainstream approach and don possess its operations and efforts to strengthen the role as advocates of inclusive and integrative agriculture wey still focus on the efforts of the coalition of women farmers COFA. Make you don't forget say even though primary education dey free and compulsory for Nigeria, so many children presently dey out of school and art don stay partner with CSO to make sure say this issue dey addressed. Art don partner with different CSO based for different states for Nigeria. Some of these CSO don work on conflict and management and mediation, education, food security, livelihood, empowerment and governance and many more for other states.
We as civil society need to stand firm, need to stand true and need to stand strong. We're the hope. And I'm not saying this because I'm amongst you. We're truly the hope for the development of this country. We're truly the hope. We must keep our leadership, our political leadership, our leadership in every sphere of public service on their toes. People must act in accordance with the established laws and with our constitution. Civil society also must educate the rest of us in the country. They must know that we have rights. They must help us understand those rights. They must help us also understand that as we stand, we can push back against government in accordance with the Constitution. Civil society must give courage. The courage that you have, you must please give courage to the rest of us in the country. I want to implore the brave men and women in the civil society space, the intelligent and strong men and women in the civil society space, that please, there's still so much more to be done. I am there, I've been there, I will remain there, I support, I occasionally still participate, and I can assure you that if by the grace of God Almighty, I am elected as the governor of the state through the will of the people of the state, I will continuously engage with civil society. We will run a transparent and accountable government. We will dialogue, we will be accessible, we will speak.
What stood out was being legally registered with CAC. Before now, we were not registered. We got that. We also got this SCOMO certificate. Then it also built our visibility to the extent it increased us numerically. We had this particular Otivo initiative that traced us, having seen our works on Facebook. It traced us from Lagos and relocated down to our office, and today is a registered member of the Conference of Non-Governmental Organizations.
As at that time was, we just clocked 13 years in the civil society space. So it means that we've been engaging stakeholders, but it was not strategic enough. The trainings, coaching exposed us to proper ways, systems, process that we can strategically engage. And that has helped us to engage the local government of concern, Owan West local government, on WASH, water, sanitation and hygiene. We co-designed a program, and that evidently ended up establishing framework that the WASH unit will continue to work with in the next 5 years. We ended up having investment plan. And then apart from at the local government level, we also had at the community level where structural systems were built up. We have water, sanitation, and hygiene committee who became agents of change on their own. They now begin to see that these issues are what we can ask the duty bearers accountable. These are some that we can ask our children to contribute.
Because of the act, we're able to get our tax clearance. Last year, we were inactive on the CAC portal, but we've been able to pay our backlog of over 13 years. At least with the knowledge that we had, we were able to see the importance on being active on CAC. Because of the act, we're able to create a strategic plan, which our organization we weren't doing. And with the policy training that we did, we are currently working on our digital and data policy, so that people that come to our website or engage with us in our social media pages understand that whatever data they give to us is going to be protected, and they understand how it's going to be protected.
But there's something during the trainings and the mentoring sessions we had to come up with. It's about grant readiness, being ready at any time. Every project is a temporary intervention. You have to be ready to get the next one ready. And so that's what we developed from the whole process for us in the art process. It helped us to put certain things, a metric in place to know whether we are ready.
When the EU Act program came on board, we were taught on the simplicity of registering with the regulatory bodies. And by the grace of God, we have our school meal. We just had that about 2 months back. And we have our CAC. And as I'm saying now, they are working on our annual filing. They are working on that now, which has never happened before. And with this, I have that confidence. My chest have been broadened, that EU had given me the authority to speak.
Very happy that we're saying get the PC. But what we're actually doing is building the capacity of the people. We are carrying out in two phases: civic engagement and political engagement. And we're indeed very grateful to RT program for bringing us. When we started, they actually showed us the way on program management. It was the first time myself I attended the human resource management, and even discovered that they are scored 3 over 15. But after the training, and I thought I scored 13 over 15, not even 15 over 15. So it was an eye-opener for me. And that actually exposed us. Now the project we did was on governance, and that is titled Community Mobilization and Engagement for Transparency, Accountability and Sustainable Governance in Edo Central Senatorial District, with a goal to see improved community participation in governance for accountability, transparency and effective service delivery. When we're in the community and government is doing anything, the people at government, they do it. It doesn't concern the community. But now we want the community to be involved. Whatever the government is doing, they should be part of it. From the moment we now focus on, we talk about tracking the budget and open government partnership. With tracking the budget, we'll be able to know how much money that we're giving out, how much we're giving at the initial stage, and wherever they are. That tracking the budget will enable the community to know what is happening. And that is the reason we have trained community-based trackers at 25 communities.
For Edo State, after 5 years of the EU Act implementation for Nigeria, it became important to close out the event across the 10 states where Edo State na part of. And for Edo State, the EU Act don't work with 20 to 23 CSOs, and all of them they represented for the program wey shele for Protea Hotel for Benin City, Edo State. Some of the CSO wey don work milestone across the years for other areas. Some of the participants wey dey for the one-day event get this one to say.
The essence of this event basically is to mark the end of this project after 5 years of being implemented in Nigeria. The project started around 2019. It was implemented across 10 states, and those states happen to be one of the states. In the life cycle of every project, you have the inception and you have the closeout. What we are doing here today is actually the closeout of the EU Act program across all the states, and Edo State event is happening today. We work with 20 CSOs. 20 CSOs. At some point, we now increase it to 23, from 20 to 23. And those 23 CSOs are here today, well represented. You will see the result, the amazing results, the milestones that they've covered in the last 3 years. And for me, I think it's all our pleasure that we work with these kind of credible CSOs and dynamic CSO partners.
The program is essentially for civil society organizations in Nigeria. CSOs globally, they provide support in a wide range of ways to empower communities, to hold government accountable. But like most things in Nigeria, they've been saddled with a lot of challenges. So they've been faced with a lot of challenges. So the project or the program was conceived to address some of these challenges. Some of the challenges include the limited capacity of CSOs to execute projects, for instance, the limited capacity to engage with stakeholders, including governments. I mean, if you want to hold government responsible and accountable, then you need the right capacity to do that. But from studies, from research that we've seen, not all CSOs have that capability. So the project was essentially to support in building the capacity of CSOs, and also to make the environment where they operate a lot more conducive for them in terms of legislations, regulations. So that's essentially what the project has been doing.
The whole essence of the ACT program was to empower civil society groups in order for them to have a formidable structure, institutionalizing the organization as well as operations in order for them to be effective in the policy arena and the social service delivery. I think these two cardinal elements have been very important in building the capacity of civil society in order for them to be able to collaborate with government.
In a closeout ceremony for the ACT program that has lasted for over 5 years, the British Council deemed it fit to train about different women were empowered, different vulnerable persons benefited through different CSOs. So this is a wrap-up program to see how far they've gone and way forward to do things. And that's why we as a ministry, we are the ones housing these CSOs. That's why we're here.
It's a closeout session for the EU Act after a 5-year program that have lasted for these past 5 years. In Edo State, we had 19 CSOs that were trained and coached by the EU Act program being implemented by the British Council, and my organization benefited from it. And today is a closeout session for the phase 1 of the project.
EU ECT has been in Edo State for the past 5 years. So it makes NGOs to come together, strengthen NGOs, make them to work together. And like what someone said initially, NGOs are not seeing themselves as competitors. They should see themselves as partners in business in terms of taking out implementation programs and trying to see how this actually will go in societies.
They train us, they gave us grants, and we were able to train other CSO, about 15 CSO, with the grants they gave. So I want to say a very big thank you to EU Arts. They have done well in Edo State, And we believe that today be the closer, they are not leaving us. We'll still do work together more and more.
Make you not forget, say, the whole essence of the EU Act to CSO that to strengthen NGOs and bring them together and the community at large. At the end of the event, different certificates they awarded to different civil society organizations. Anita Irene, now they bring you this story for GTV Nigeria.